10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the John DeVito Show. Hopefully, everyone is doing well. And give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. You want to make sure the audio is working. Tried a new computer this morning, and obviously that didn't work. So it is what it is. So welcome to everybody coming in. Hopefully, you guys can hear me loud and clear. I got the thumbs up from Don Hasselhoff, so that's good news. And before I get started today, we got a good interview coming up, and I am pumped to have Slacker82 and Maverick and Goose on my show today. They have a really badass show, so I'm looking forward to having them all on today. I see they're in the studio. But before I get started, I want to wish everybody a happy Martin Luther King Day. Martin Luther King was a good man, great man, did a lot of good things for society and the world. But it's unfortunate now that we live in a country and in a world that's not following what Dr. Martin Luther King wanted. Here in Boston, we've got our communist dictator Mayor Michelle Wu, who finally put into place her vaccine ID mandate over the weekend in Boston. And you've got restaurants now that are not serving people. And I did see this morning that a woman went into one of the restaurants in Boston. And I'm going to say the name of the restaurant, Penguin Pizza in Boston, Massachusetts. This woman went in with a group of people to Penguin Pizza in Boston. Their phone number, if you want to know, is 617-277-9200. If you'd like to call and tell them what you think of mandates, that would be great. But they literally would not serve this family. They refused to serve them, and because they didn't have their vaccine ID cards. So they literally called the police, and the police ended up coming in and harassing this family in Boston. And this video on TikTok, I would share it on my Twitter, but of course, Twitter banned me again. So once again, I'm banned from the unbelievably communist social media platform we all know as Twitter, and that's what I'm going to call it from now on. No more Twitter, it's Twitter. And basically because I made a comment about Michelle Wu, I got banned for 7 days yet again trying to cut my free speech. So, but anyway, this whole situation in Boston, the police came in, they harassed this family, and this family did an absolutely boss move because apparently the police are not being allowed to throw people out of restaurants. So part of this mandate is apparently they've told the police that you can't literally drag people out of restaurants. So these people went to another pizza restaurant, okay? They ordered pizza in this other pizza restaurant, and they brought it back to the restaurant that refused to serve them, and they sat down in that restaurant and ate the other restaurant's pizza in front of the workers that basically called the police on them. Absolute boss move, absolutely hilarious. Honest to God, I wish I knew that woman because I would hug him. That is like the greatest thing I've ever seen. Now, one thing I say before I call everybody in, because this is going to be a great interview. I'm really looking forward to this. I've had Goose on my show before. He is literally one of my favorite people on Podbean. He is a badass. He knows his stuff. So if you're looking for a guy that really knows what's going on in this country, I mean, the whole show is great, but I've had Goose call into my show before. Love having this guy in my show. He's amazing. But for all of you out there that are still sleeping through this, for all of you out there that are not paying attention, we are being censored. We are being controlled. This is the Great Reset in action. They are taking away our rights. The government is implementing control over our lives on a day-to-day basis. And honestly, I did not want my podcast to be about this. I really didn't. I had other plans for what I was going to do with my podcast, but I feel like I have to speak out. I have to talk about this because if I don't, and other people like us don't speak up, this is going to get worse and worse and worse, and we are going to have literally no rights in this country. This is bigger than white. This is bigger than black. This is bigger than Hispanic. This is bigger than gay. This is bigger than straight. This is bigger than LGBTQ. This is about all of us together uniting to fight this tyrannical government that we're seeing. This is a worldwide tyrannical government that's trying to take away our rights. And if we let them, they're going to. I mean, these people need to be reminded. I'm talking about all the congressmen. I'm talking about all the governors. I'm talking about all the mayors. I'm talking about all of these people who think that their job is to rule us. They need to be reminded that we are, in fact, their dictators. They are servants of the people. We pay their salaries. They are supposed to be a representation of the people, not a dictator to the people. And until the American people and the people of the world start standing up against this tyranny. It's not going to stop. We're going to have masks forever, vaccine ID cards, show your papers no matter where you go. And this is about an entire population of people that are going to be controlled. We're losing it all. So there you go. There it is right there. Penguin Pizza. I already left my bad review. I see DeGray area mentioned it in there also. Penguin Pizza treated these people like dogs in Boston. And I actually called them, spoke to them, and the guy hung up on me. He didn't want to hear it. So Penguin Pizza, 617-277-9200. Feel free to call them. Feel free to leave them a message. They open up at 10 o'clock Eastern time on the East Coast, so they're open right now. And get on and leave them a review and let them know that you don't agree with their communist manifesto that they're pushing on the part of Michelle Wu, the Boston mayor. So that's all I have to say about that. I was going to do a show about it yesterday, and I was so pissed off. I just didn't feel like getting on the air because I would have been worse than I normally am on here. So, Eric, welcome to the show. Why don't we have our guys call in so we can start the interview? So,
yeah,
Eric, welcome. How you doing?
I mean, and then where Twitter puts you in their Twitter jail for 7 days.
Again, yeah.
You're only just going to get louder and louder, and you might wind up having to start another Twitter account for your show if they decide to ban at DeVito because they already.
This is probably my 5th Twitter page now. I had one that had over 10,000 followers. They cut that one.
The at John DeVito pod that they banned.
2,000 followers now, but they're probably going to ban me here again. So, it is what it is. Fuck Twitter. Honestly.
Well, you're just going to do it to a Patriot mama. Like, she got banned from TikTok like on 15 accounts, and she's on her 16th account, and they banned this one. She's just going to turn around and start another one, and she's just going to get even louder. And she's somebody we hope to have on the show very soon.
Well, you saw me. I was against TikTok. I mean, I thought TikTok was stupid, and it is stupid. But I got on, and I had one video that really hit, and I ended up with 15,000 followers in a month, and then they banned me. So it's like, and the thing about TikTok is, why did they ban me? I mean, was I making rude comments about people? Was I being disrespectful? No. The reason why TikTok banned me is because I did a video that got like 600,000 views on the Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell situation. And I was talking about how the rich and wealthy in this world are not being forced to answer to the fact that they were basically molesting and fucking children. So I didn't use any profanity. I wasn't doing anything out of the ordinary. I just posted a video asking for people to talk and to share details about the Maxwell trial, and they banned me. They took me off without any warnings. So that's what we got in this big social media mess right now. So guys, Goose, Maverick, welcome to the show. How you guys doing?
Doing good, John.
Good morning, gentlemen.
How are you?
Doing good, man. You just doing your job, man. That's it.
Goose is all pumped up because you gave him a good introduction there.
No, you treat me like a freaking Spider-Man.
I can't remember. It was probably like 2 months ago, maybe. Didn't know who he was. He called into my show, and man, he went off. And he and I are like brothers from another mother. He thinks exactly the same way I do, and that's why I love him. And your show, I was in last week for you guys have a great show. I mean, you guys kick ass, and I'm sure all of you guys in here have been in their show. But if you haven't, make sure you check it out. They're really good. So, Maverick, why don't you get started and tell everybody a little bit about your show and also what you believe about what's happening in this country right now. Then we'll go to Goose.
Okay. I'm sorry. Bravo was texting me. He can't make it, I don't think. No. That's okay. All right.
It's all right.
We decided me and Goose started this show back in, what was it, Goose? 2016, right? Yes. 2016. 15? Yeah, before Trump came down the escalator, we decided to start a show. We started on YouTube, doing our videos there, and shit, I lost my train of thought because he keeps texting me here. So we started in 2016, 2015. I decided to do it on YouTube because I didn't know anything about podcasting at the time. So that's where we started. We did the videos. We did like an hour, I think. Goose, what we do? Hour, 2 hours? I don't remember when we started.
2 hours sometimes.
Well, we got tired of, we were watching, that was just when Trump was getting ready to run, and Goose wasn't a fan of Trump at the time. He'll tell you about that. I was on the Trump train, but Goose wasn't. Goose was for somebody else. So and we just got, we're former military, so we love this country like you wouldn't believe, and we just watch every day. You see this country just falling apart, and that's what really prompted me to want to start the show. And then I got Goose to come along, because we wanted to get the word out there that everything that you're hearing the government tell you is bullshit. Sorry, I don't know if I can curse on your show.
Go ahead. Speak the way you want to speak. Go ahead. Big country on this show, so go ahead.
All right. Everything that is going on in this country, it was such bullshit that it aggravated the shit out of us, and we just decided, well, we're gonna expose those lies that the government's telling you and that you're hearing on the mainstream media, and that's basically how we do our show. I mean, we touch on everything that everybody else is afraid to talk about, because and has it gotten us in trouble? Yeah, it has. I mean, I've lost so many social media accounts, I can't even count them. I just keep remaking them. Every time they ban me, I make another one, in some form of the same name. I just change something to make it so I can get it. Which is another total bullshit. You hear people say, "Oh, I got banned in Facebook." "Oh, I got put in Facebook jail," and they laugh. And you're like, "What are you, an idiot?" Because you know what that means? They're fucking censoring you. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're shutting you up. You shouldn't be happy about that. You should be, I was in Facebook jail for 30 days. Well, you know what? You just open another fucking account, because that's what I do. I mean, every time they shut us down, we had a podcast. We started YouTube, and then I decided to try a podcast. I started looking into it and decided, well, let me try that. We went to Anchor, and we started one there. We rose, and we were only there for 3 months, and we had like 40,000 followers on that show. And all of a sudden, one morning, I went in and checked the numbers on the show and everything for the day before. We were doing a show 5 days a week. And I went in and I couldn't get in. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? I thought maybe I did something wrong. Here, come to find out, they shut us down with no explanation, nothing. They just shut the podcast down. I contacted Anchor and I said, look, what the hell's going on here? They told me it was suspicious activity on the account. So that was the only explanation I ever got from them.
Sure. Suspicious activity. You got to love that. No, it's funny now. Twitter has come forward and they're starting to try to outsmart me now. Literally now, when I go to start a new account, I can't use my cell phone number anymore. They've now blocked my cell phone number. So luckily for them, I have 6 members in my family. So now I'm using my
exactly. That's what I do. Yep, that's exactly what I do. You have to. I mean, there's ways around it. I mean, they want to try to screw you. So I mean, but Twitter, I hate Twitter. Because it's so ridiculous. I think we were like you. We had like 2,000-3,000 followers at one point on one account, and then the next day I went, it was gone. All the people were gone, and I'm like, "What the hell?"
You log in and it says the big 0.
Yeah,
they give you no way to protest it. They're just like, "Yeah, you're done. We're done with you."
I told kids, I'm like, "What the fuck? We had 3,000 people, and now we have nothing." It's like Telegram. We're on Telegram, and I hate that too. Bravo is the one who takes care of that over there. John, we had 20,000 at one point. We had 20,000 followers on there. You know what we have now? We barely have like 1,100.
Incredible.
Yeah, I mean, and Bravo's on there all the time. I mean, he fills that page with so much information, stuff that you won't hear anywhere else. Some crazy.
That's the thing. The thing that gets me right now is what we're touching on right now. Number one, social media preventing us from speaking. You guys were in the military. You fought for our freedom. And thank you, by the way, for doing that, because I think you guys are absolute heroes. I can't imagine the amount of courage it takes to go in. I don't know if you guys, served in battle or not, but to go into battle and serve and protect other people's freedom. I mean, it just takes huge balls to do that. So I appreciate what all of you guys have done. But you went over and put your life on the line, and anyone that's fought in war for our freedom has put their life on the line. And these little assholes think they can take away our right to free speech. That is what this country is based on. They are based on all of us having the ability to speak our mind. And for those of you, like you mentioned, who, people laugh, oh, I'm in Facebook jail again. Well, it's not going to be so funny when that Facebook jail turns into you put in a prison for saying the wrong thing.
Exactly.
And so you think that's impossible. It's not impossible, because right now we're seeing we have to show our papers. We're having to show our vaccination cards. And if you research China has a social credit system. We are not too far away from going down that road where we're all going to be in a social credit system like China. And you will
Absolutely.
be for not falling in line. Am I wrong with that? What do you guys think?
Oh no, I believe that 100%. I believe, we're on that. We're on a bad road. This country is heading way in the wrong direction, and I don't see a turnaround. A lot of people say, oh, well, Trump's going to do this and Trump's going to do that. I'm still a Trump supporter. Don't get me wrong, but I'm very critical. I'm very, very critical of Trump. And it gets me in trouble sometimes, especially with Bravo and especially with Goose. Goose, not so much anymore. Goose is kind of lean more toward me. But Bravo, I mean, we have knockdown, drag out fight about this crap.
Well, see, now let me ask you. Let me inject here and just ask you this now, because I am still a Trump fan, and I, like most people, have probably gone back and forth on whether or not I really like Trump. Now, Trump comes out and says a lot of stupid things. I think everyone can probably agree on that. And now my oldest son, I've got 4 kids. My oldest son has autism. And when he got up and was mocking the reporter, doing the special needs thing, that pissed me off. I was like, what an asshole this guy is. What a jerk. But the bottom line is, with the good that you get with Trump, you have to take the bad, because the bad represents the freedom that he has and that we all should have in being able to express ourselves in the way that we want. I mean, you can come out and say stupid things, and the American people can choose to vote you out if they don't like the stupid things you said. But that is still the ability in this country to, have freedom of speech and give your opinion on things. And even if you have a stupid opinion, you should be allowed to give that opinion. And we're losing that. And that scares the hell out of me.
Absolutely. I mean, I mean, Trump said some dumb things. I mean, and everybody, anyone who says he didn't is an idiot, because, that's the way Bravo is. Bravo just blows off anything dumb that he's ever said or done, and like I said, I mean, don't get me wrong. And I don't want fucking emails from people saying, oh, you're supposed to be a Trump supporter, because I get that shit all the time every time I talk about him. But, it's just, I have to be. I mean, and it's your right to be critical of everything. Question every fucking thing. And, I mean, and people don't. People just accept what they're told, and they and accept, well, this is the way it has to be, and it doesn't have to. Nothing has to be the way it is. I mean, if we don't stand up and do something. I mean, I was talking to someone from the UK the other day, and they're like, how come the Americans aren't taken to the streets and fighting and protesting over all the mandates and shit that they're trying to pass? And I said, you know what? That's a good fucking question. I said, I ask myself that all the time. I ask everybody else the same fucking thing. Why aren't we in the streets? I mean, every other country is fighting against the governments because they're mandating them, trying to lock them down. And here we are just taking it up the ass, like it's no big deal. I mean, I don't get it, and it's funny because other countries are looking at us like we're a bunch of fucking idiots. I mean,
I think part of it is, in this country, we're soft, we're lazy, and people aren't willing to go out and fight. We're too busy sitting at home, kind of editing our Facebook profile to show our pronouns and everything else. They're trying to please everybody, and you get everybody sitting home playing Xbox, watching Netflix. Everyone's sitting at home in their nice plush houses and being distracted, and they don't care. They're not willing to fight. They don't. If they have to give up a little bit of freedom, but they can sit on their couch and play their Xbox 10 hours a day, all good, right? There's no need to fight for anything. And you're right. I mean, it scares me. We right now have a generation, and I'm sorry for my younger people in here. I know I'm an old curmudgeon, an old grouchy old guy now, but the younger generation has not had anything to fight about. You look at older generations, you had wars, you had conflicts. The younger generation has been told from day one how special they are. They get participation trophies. They're supposed to be sensitive. And in my opinion, this has been an attempt on our government to, and I'm sure I'm going to get shit for this, but kind of feminize men in a way where, we're being told if you're masculine, it's toxic masculinity. You can't stand up for anything. You can't fight. You can't be a man. In 2022, the evolved man is the one that's sensitive, that's this, that's that. And we have literally, as men in this country, lost our identity. And I don't think we know how to fight for anything anymore, unfortunately. It's terrible to see.
No, absolutely. I mean, you hit it right on the head. Yeah, I mean, Americans are lazy. I mean, if it doesn't directly affect them or they don't believe that it does, and that's the sad part. They don't understand it is affecting you. I mean, look, go to the grocery store and what's happening in the grocery stores. The fucking shelves are empty. And all the stuff that you normally find, you're not finding anymore. And it's all by design. They're doing it on purpose. They're doing this. You're going to see it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse before it gets better. And the only way it's going to get better is if people start standing up and doing something. I'm not saying, look, I'm not advocating violence. I'm not saying you got to go out and, the January 6th thing, I kind of have mixed feelings on the January 6th thing because I think, do I think it was all Trump supporters who did that? No, I don't believe so. I believe it was a setup. I believe they did it on purpose, to try to get these guys to, get some of the Trump supporters to go along. I think it was outsiders, but I think the ones that are getting charged are the ones who really didn't do a whole lot. But I don't agree. I think they hurt our cause more than they helped. It was stupid. Was Trump involved? Did Trump incite it? Sometimes I think, I mean, if you listen to the way he spoke and what he did during and after, I mean, he didn't really condemn it. He didn't do anything. He just kind of let it go. And now it's coming out. You hear that Don Jr. was calling everybody and saying, look, you got to get him to tell these people to knock it off. And, and he wasn't doing anything. He was just watching it with a smile on his face, I mean,
I agree with you on a lot of things. I agree with you on this as well. I do think that January 6th wasn't all the Republicans' fault. It was not. But no. I look at it as being we kind of walked into a trap. We were stupid. Yeah, but we walked into a trap. Go ahead, man. Let her rip.
I got to say something about it.
Please do. Oh, go right ahead. Talk whatever you like. Go ahead.
You know what? We should have no freaking limit to fight for our country. These people want to control you. Now they're throwing that bullshit committee for January 6th because they want to quiet you down. That's the way they do it.
Mm-hmm.
They are so fucking corrupted. It's not fucking limit when you're fighting. When you're fighting, you're fighting. And yes, I in the beginning, I didn't like Trump. I love Marco Rubio. He's a guy in Florida that help a lot of vets. He does.
Mm-hmm.
He send a letter and he, stick up for you and help you out. So I give him my vote. Of course, after he lost, because the glass of water or whatever, or his little hand, guess what? I put my support behind Trump. I love fucking Trump because Trump is like the pesticide man. He comes to your house and spray everything. Then you see the cockroaches running all over the place. And that's what he did. Now, people don't appreciate that he exposed the swamp. Now we know who's our enemy and our friendly. Everybody should know who is our enemy, who hate this country, because they all came out openly. The U.S. messed up. We're a bunch of racists. We're this, we're that. The way they always think, but they were quiet before. Now they openly say everything that we already knew.
Yeah,
it's our turn to fight for our future generation. It's our time to tell the truth. It's our time to take it today. Fuck that shit holding back. Hell no. You go down the street and freaking participate in every freaking meeting that they have. One thing that I gotta say, we men's gotta get out of our 4 point of contact, our ass, and start fighting. Because our women are fighting for our kids in school. They're the one who goes to the board meeting and take apart those board members. But we are not doing enough. We need to fucking get our shit together and start fighting back for our country.
No, I think you are right on the mark with that, Goose, because that's one thing I've been saying for a long time. I'm sick and tired of being told that if you stand up for something as a man now, you're a toxic male. Let me be clear. Toxic men are not men that stand up for what they believe in. Toxic men are not manly men, are not like, the alpha males like myself and like you guys are that protect people and take care of people. The toxic males are the ones that sit back and they abuse their women and they abuse their families and they don't take care of things. That's what toxicity is in men.
Yeah.
And that's, one of the things we're seeing right now in Boston. This is why I'm so angry about this. Is you have this new progressive liberal communist mayor, Michelle Wu, in our city right now in Boston. She's firing police officers. She's firing fighter fighters. They are fucking heroes. And she is making us less safe by firing these people. And then she's preventing people from going into restaurants without their papers. Now, the worst thing is now when this first happened, everyone says Boston's racist. Boston isn't racist. Boston likes good people and we hate bad people. David Ortiz will never have to pay for another beer in this city again. He's a legend in Boston. People love Big Papi. After the Boston Marathon bombing, Big Papi got in the middle of Fenway Park and said to everybody, and they didn't even block it out on television, this is our fucking city. David Ortiz is a legend. Michelle Wu, when this whole thing went down, people started protesting her house. And some people said some rude things. You're a communist, you're Mayor Wuhan, whatever else they were saying. I mean, obviously people were rude. They were trying to get to her. So she comes out and calls the whole city of Boston racist. And then, thank God to Turtle Boy News, you guys can find on the internet. He's awesome. Turtle Boy News scoured all of their Twitter pages, all of her new administration people, and found that her new African-American chief communications officer had made racist comments about Asians, about Asians' penis size, made comments about white people. Her new equity director, who is a Hispanic lady, came out with shitting on whites for being white supremacists. Then she called the police pigs. I mean, this is the administration that surrounds this person. When everybody brought to her that, listen, you've got two people working on your payroll that are racist. When are you going to talk about that? She still hasn't addressed it, but she's still calling the city of Boston racist when she's got two racists working in her cabinet and she won't address it. I mean, it's just bullshit. And you're right. We do need to just stand up and go after this stuff. So, Goose, I'd like to hear from you a little bit. What do you think really of what's going on in this country right now? What's happening with Biden? What's happening with COVID? I'd love to hear just your feelings on everything. Go ahead.
Well, COVID, I already had COVID, so I just got out of that bullshit. I think the vaccine is a fucking joke. We believe in freedom. And even though I got the vaccine, and I told freaking Maverick I was going to be the guinea pig of the show, and which I don't mind. So, by the direction of my wife, she said, you need to take it. Okay, I took it. Okay, if I'm going to die, I guess God's going to take care of me. And that was my comfort. But I got COVID-19. The only thing that I got to say is this about COVID. Nobody can force you to get a motherfucking vaccine or do something that you don't want to do with your freaking body. Okay? Nobody can force you. No government, this freaking earth can't do that to you. So you need to fight back. You don't want the vaccine, don't take the freaking vaccine. Okay? So every action got consequence. The only thing is that we have to live with our own decision. And after that decision, you're going to have consequences that you're going to have to live with them too. So it's up to you. I don't criticize anybody who take it or doesn't take it. That's my
let me just chime in here. 100% with you. Now, as I've told the people that are in here quite a bit, I mean, I don't know if you guys have heard this. I'm vaccinated. I got both shots, and I got.
Now we partnered.
I married a doctor, and she didn't give me a choice. She beats me if I don't listen to her.
Nurse, yeah.
Kind of like a Democrat, she beats me if I don't listen. But no, one thing I've always said is, if you are not vaccinated, guess what? You come to my house, you give me a hug, you're always welcome in my house. I don't care. I have no right to tell you that you need to get a vaccination. I have no right to tell you what you need to put in your body. And one of the things that I think Boston and other cities, like Boston had, a couple hundred years ago, the Boston Tea Party, we need to have the people that have been vaccinated show up at Boston Harbor and rip up those damn vaccine cards and throw them in the ocean to support the people that are being treated like second-class citizens right now. We need to unite because you're right. The government has no right. And they know that because the Supreme Court struck it down thanks to Clarence Thomas. But the bottom line is, they maybe can't mandate it, but they can take everything they can away from us in order to try to force us to doing it. And to me, not okay. We need to fight to stop this.
I'm telling you, we gotta face something that's the very thing that's going on in our country. We got a tyrannical government. They're so corrupted. And that's why we got the Second Amendment. Now, I don't want to tell people go there shoot people. That's not how I'm going to go with this. What I tell people, you got to fight back because our founding father 200 years ago, I don't know who the hell visited them. And I believe it was God. But how the hell 250 years ago they wrote the Constitution
Amazing.
to protect we the citizens about shit that's going on right now in our country? They had the vision that this shit was going to take place in our country. And we need to fight back and use our Constitution to our advantage. All these people that are talking all that smack about vaccine, this and that, take those freaking goddamn boxes of vaccine, throw it to their freaking face. Throw the freaking shoe to their face. Kick him out of the fucking office. Just the same way they do to you. The only thing I don't want you to do is burn freaking building and start looting small business. Don't do that. But that building where that mayor is belongs to you. You pay for it. Okay? If you gotta break a window, break a freaking window. We replace it back with the right person. But I'm telling you, these people are out of control and we're losing our country. We are losing our country this time. We only got one more chance. 2022, November 2022.
It's true, man. I
go
think
out and vote.
Well, we and these plans have been going on for a while. This whole generational thing where we've created this very sensitive, millennial population, very sensitive Gen Z population. Let's all worry about our pronouns. Let's all be feminine. Let's all not be masculine because that's toxic. This has been a plan.
To the point. Bunch of transgender and gay people are running our fucking country. They are, and they're trying to impose the bullshit into our kids. You gotta freaking wake up, smell the coffee. That's true. What happened 4,000 years ago is happening again.
It is.
You know? And go watch TV, watch Disney Channel, watch all that stuff, everything that you see. We never saw that shit on TV.
No, it's getting crazy. I mean, to touch on that, Goose is saying, every time you turn on the fucking TV anymore, it's there. Every commercial, every show has to have a gay couple in it now. And look, again, I don't want fucking emails and text messages and all that bullshit saying
I'm imposing shit on me.
I mean, but it's bullshit that we have to see this crap. This country is bowing down to the fucking 1% of the population who is transgender or fucking whatever. I don't give a fuck what you do behind your closed doors. Just don't fucking. I shouldn't have to be forced to see it on the fucking TV. Seeing guys kissing each other on the fucking TV. I mean, every fucking commercial you see now has a gay couple in it. And you guys know I'm right because you guys watch TV. Watch the commercials. I mean, they try to hide it. They may not put them right out in the forefront, but they're there. I was watching TV with my wife the other night. We're sitting there, and I swear, every other commercial had a gay couple in it. And I turned to my wife and said, "What the fuck is this shit? You never used to see this stuff on TV." Never.
See, the thing of it is, I think for my generation and your generation, I mean, honestly, I don't care if someone's gay, if they're straight. I don't care if someone's straight. It means nothing to me. I don't give a shit. It's not my business. But back when I was younger, I mean, these type of things were more private. And again, I still think sexuality should be more private. And again, I don't care. I mean, if someone's gay, they're gay. Whatever. I don't give a shit. It has nothing to do with me. But you're right. I think the thing that really bothers me is I do feel that some of the things that are broadcast out there are confusing children at a very young age when they're already very confused.
Exactly.
And again, I don't think things like, surgeries to reassign oneself should happen until they're a little bit older, when they can actually make that decision, on their own. Because sometimes I'm seeing cases where, it's parents are saying that they want to have like a gender reassigned surgery, when someone's like 13 years old. I mean, at that point, when you're in your teens, you don't even know who you are at that point. I mean, one week you could be gay, the next week you're straight. I mean, I've got 4 kids that have been through the teenage years, and that is a period of time where you're trying to figure things out, and you can't make definitive decisions about your life until you really know where you're at. So I do think that some of that stuff does confuse children now. It's
medically, science proved that our kid's brain continue growing all over today. 16, 17, 18. You could change a kid's brain.
Well,
critical
actually,
thinking.
Isn't it like
Of those
25
ages.
before your brain is fully
yes,
it's something like that, fully developed or whatever. I mean, there is something at that point. I just can't remember what it is, but
I'm still waiting for mine to fully develop.
And that's why you, as a parents, need to get involved. Another sick issue that I'm going to mention here that is really, which I think sometimes I tell Mary, maybe we are getting on this bullshit because all the abominations that we've done the last freaking 20, 30 years, and that's abortion. We're killing more kids than anybody else, any other country in the world.
Yep.
We're killing kids every day by thousands, and nobody's saying shit. What's going on with the unborn? Why we don't defend them? Because they can't talk. Now, if you get a freaking drunk driver, hit a girl who's pregnant, and both of them get killed, now you charge the guy with 2 kills.
Exactly.
But we can't have the same rule when somebody trying to kill a kid that's 24 weeks on the womb. And that's what's going on in our country too. We are sick.
Well, with that too. Now you talk about abortion. Now again, my body, my choice, right? Isn't that what they say? So how come it's not the same with the vaccination? My body, my choice. It's my body, my choice with abortion. But when it comes to injecting a potentially dangerous vaccination into your body, you have no choice. Then we're going to inject you, or you're going to be eliminated from life in this country. I mean, why is it both ways?
I believe that. I mean, I was reading before I came on. I was reading. Shit, I don't know what it was. Well, one of the place. I mean, just like in the UK, for instance, they're doing that. I mean, they're, and what was that one Goose in Austria, I think, where they're locked down all the unvaccinated people. All the unvaccinated are locked down. They can't go to. I have family in Dominican Republic. My wife's Dominican, and we have family still in Dominican Republic. And in Dominican Republic, you can't go anywhere. You can't go to the grocery store. You can't go on buses. You can't go on trains. You can't go on cabs. You can't go anywhere unless you're vaccinated. They won't let you in banks. They don't let you anywhere. They're forcing you to get vaccinated, pretty much. I mean, because if you don't, your life is a living hell because you can't do shit.
Well, Maverick, I just read today that they're going to let it go. That's what I read. That they're going to let it go, get everybody sick. I just read the article this morning that they were planning to let everybody go and just get sick and put up with this bullshit. Which I think they should fucking do that. This is going to be the freaking flu.
It is now. It is now. One of my kids has it right now, and I've known in the last 2 weeks probably 10 people that have it, and I've got several good friends that have had it, and they're all telling me they've had 20 flus that have been worse than this. It's the flu. It's the flu. It's the sniffles.
Yes.
And for Christ's sakes, let's get back to normal. Let's go back to living our lives. Take the damn masks off. Stop with the damn vaccinations. I mean, let the kids live their lives. I mean, that's one of the things about our kids is we're seeing how depressed they all are because they've been beaten down now for 3 years, and it's just awful what we're doing. When we're not worried about their mental health, but we're so concerned about them getting the
but you don't worry about those fucking migrants coming through the border without vaccination.
Exactly.
Okay? Exactly. And you promoting all those freaking 2 million people that are in our country right now illegally for the last few months after this fucking let's go Brandon fuckhead Biden took over, destroying our country that way. Now we got a bunch of freaking terrorists, sleeping cells. We even got some freaking camps somewhere in Mexico getting prepared to attack us.
Yep.
Okay? And people don't realize that's just fucked up. But then we forget about our vets. Higher freaking report from July to September, the suicidal freaking number went up on the vets. A lot of vets in our country committing suicide because we don't provide that fucking help that they need. But we can't take care of our own people, but we take care of other people from other countries.
Oh, but remember though, Goose. Now, if you say anything about not illegal aliens, but the illegal immigrants, if you say anything about that, you're racist. You're racist. That's what they want everyone to
I guess all my
We can't
family
speak-
racist. We're a bunch of Mexican and Puerto Rican, I guess.
Yep.
They're the racist one. Those white people on the left, they're the one pushing all that racist bullshit to divide our country. One thing I can tell you, my brothers and sisters, Latino, they don't go out there to fight these crazy shit racists unless you pay them.
Yep.
Okay? They don't play like that. So you pay me $50 an hour, I go there and say something. But they don't play this race shit, most of them. They don't.
No. I literally
We don't, because I'm part of them.
I have never I'm a white guy from the suburbs. I have never had a problem with any person of color. I get along with everyone I've met. My son plays baseball with a lot of kids that are from the Dominican Republic, the coach, all of them. They're great people. They're good people. They speak their heart. And I have never had, one feeling whatsoever, that any of them did not like me because I'm the white guy from the suburbs. We've always gotten along well. And you're right, the racist people in this country are the ones that are calling everybody else racist. And those are the Democrats on the left. And for the most part, you're right, the white Democrats on the left. And I recently saw a good video about Malcolm X back in the day where he talked about how the most evil people, on the planet are the liberal left, and saying that at least with, conservatives, who they are and what they are. With the liberal left, they're sneaky. They're like foxes and you can't trust them. And
This
they're racist.
motherfucker killed goddamn Lincoln.
Yep, exactly.
Every good leader that we have, they always go after them. Because they always want us divided. That's why.
They do.
Yeah.
Divide and conquer. You guys know, divide and conquer. That's the way to do it, and that's what they've done. We've talked about that many times. So both you guys, I want to ask you. I mean, I obviously already know the answer to this, but how can people in this country think that Joe Biden was actually elected? In my mind, it's so obvious they stole the election. What are your feelings on that?
You can go first, Goose.
Well, let me tell you. It's no fucking way. It's no fucking way. Number one, that this motherfucker got 81 million people to vote for him. I mean, if we don't that, we are dumb as fuck. Number one. And I don't think we are that dumb, okay? And number two, when they talk about his poll number, when they say it's 28, I think his fucking numbers are like the fucking cold weather, -10. I really think that all these fucking new are number one Democratic media complex are the number one enemy. They are. And they're the one pushing all this bullshit lie every day. So of course, Antonio, if you say the fucking horse is white for fucking 100 days, and I know it's black, next one day I'm gonna tell you, fuck, I'm gonna join you. That motherfucker's white.
Yep. Think about the last two presidential elections. Think about all of the polls that were shown to us in the months leading up to both of those elections. Literally in both of those elections, I didn't think Trump had a chance. I thought he was getting killed because every poll that we saw showed Hillary Clinton was beating Trump by 30 points. Biden was beating Trump by 30 points. And then all of a sudden the election happened and none of it was true. So I guess if they can steal the election and they can fake polls before the election, I think you're right. I don't think there's a snowball's chance in hell this guy's got a 30% approval rating. I mean, do you know anybody that approves him right now? I know that my wife voted for him and she didn't like Trump. He said grab him by the pussy. So she, didn't like him. And she voted for Biden. Even now, she sits back and says, this guy's a jackass. He's terrible. He's the worst president I've ever seen,
Yeah. I mean, the reason, and you're right. I mean, people like your wife, people voted for Biden. The people who voted for Biden really did it because just not to vote for Trump. You know what I mean?
Then, did you see the video sniffing kids?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you see that motherfucker that he was last on his class in 1976? Then he moved to Congress so he couldn't get a job. He couldn't pass a freaking bar exam for fucking. He took like 5 times the test. I think finally he got the freaking answer sheet to pass that freaking test.
Well, how about two now? The Democrats are saying, okay, well, the next time around, maybe we'll have Hillary run again. Hillary, I had Juanita Broderick on my show. she talked in detail about how Bill Clinton violently raped her and bit her, and then when she was left on the bed, lying there crying with blood pouring out of her lips for where Bill Clinton bit her numerous times during the rape, he looked at her, put his sunglasses on, and said, "Yeah, you're going to put some ice on that." I mean, that was Clinton's response. And that son of a bitch went to Pedophile Island at least 26 times. God knows how many people he raped. I mean, there was Paula Jones. There was one person after another. And Juanita Broderick even said that Hillary Clinton knew about the rape with her and threatened her. So this is the woman we want to put back in the White House. This is the savior of the Democratic Party. This family, they're evil. They're evil.
Hey, John, you better be careful. Might end up on the fucking Clinton list. Bringing her on your show.
That's one thing that I don't understand. I don't understand why Trump allowed that guy to get killed like that. I don't freaking know. Epstein. Yeah. He was the president. He should have put that guy in fucking Gizmo to protect him. That way he would have fucking started singing. But somehow somebody said, put him down there in that freaking minimal security freaking jail, and everything took place. They killed the guy.
We're never those names of all these people are never going to come out.
Of course, because they fucking cover up.
Yeah, I mean, that's
what I'm saying. Trump should have put that guy somewhere where he would have been protected and he would have started singing everything. And a lot of this fucking problem we have with these cockroaches, maybe 15-20% of them would have been gone already.
I was hoping that Maxine would have made some kind of deal and turned over all the.
They didn't offer her.
But she's not stupid, though. Yeah, well, no, because she would have been stupid to turn everything over, because then they could have said, "Well, we got everything now, so fuck you. We're not going to do anything for you." But I think she's got to have stuff. I mean, they said Epstein had all kinds of stuff, video. I mean, he videotaped everybody.
Roberts, Supreme Court, Roberts.
Yeah. Oh, we know Roberts. We know fucking Robert. They got something on his ass. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm surprised Maxine made it this long. To be honest with you, I really thought they'd take her out a lot sooner.
Well, they couldn't take her out because then it would be freaking obvious.
Yeah. Well,
you take number one, now you take number two. Who's number three? Bill Clinton. We can't take him out.
Well, they could. Well, no, yeah.
I mean, when you got the manifesto freaking log or the damn plane, when you see Clinton there 49 times.
Yeah.
You see Robert's name there like 3 times. You see that guy Richard from Arizona like freaking 25 times. Come on. They don't go there to paint the freaking building. Or do maintenance in the freaking pool. People need to wake up. We got a bunch of sick individuals running our country. And we got to face the fact. We got a bunch of sick individuals. But we still, Antonio, voting for these people.
Well, I think in a way that's why the terrorists hate us. They look at us. We are sick. We're a sick country. We're sick. Our leaders are sick. We're morally sick and corrupt. And
they don't want our morality. They don't want our morality to reach their land.
Yep. It's sad, but it's true.
It's true. That's why they don't want us to. When we go to any other country, our soldiers work so hard to win their hearts and minds of the people in the local villages. But then all these freaking politicians fuck everything up, like pulling out of Afghanistan like that. And we leave so many people stranded. That's amazing. I mean, history repeat every freaking time. We never learn from that shit.
I was saying the other day, and I said this to my wife, we were talking about how incompetent Biden is and what a jackass he is. And she was talking about, she's like saying, I think anyone could be a better president than him at this point. And I was like, Cheryl, I said to her, I was like, Cheryl, I think honestly, and I meant this to her, I'm like, I think you could get off the couch right now, go to Washington, and right away be a better president than he is with absolutely no experience in the job. I mean, can you think of anybody that's more incompetent than this guy, really anywhere? I mean, I'm old enough to remember Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter was a terrible president. But
we thought Jimmy was bad.
Yeah, but he loved his country anyway. He was a bad president, but he was a decent American. This guy is none of the above.
Well, I think this guy's
a freaking bigot.
Yeah, we all know that Biden's not running the country. We know he's just a face for whoever's behind him. Yeah, I mean, that guy's just too. I mean, sometimes you look at him and go, "Can people be that dumb?" I mean, he's definitely. I mean, there's something definitely wrong with him. I think he's falling apart, and I think pretty soon you're going to see something. I believe they're going to try to get him out sometime this year. I think they'll try to. Yeah, I think they'll. I mean, and now if Bravo was here, he'd be telling you, "Oh, well, it's in the works. Trump's coming back." But I would love
2022.
I would love to believe that Trump was doing something in the background and Trump was going to make a comeback, and I'd be the first one to welcome him back. But I honestly, I can't get on board with that. I just don't believe that that's the case. I mean, we get in arguments after the show, even on the show. For some of you who know, when you listen to the show, that I get in arguments with Bravo over it because, Bravo's so adamant that Trump's coming back and Trump's doing this in the background, and all these people are all these, he'll rattle off like 50 names of people who are saying that they're close to Trump and they know he's coming back, and I say, I don't believe that bullshit for a second. I don't believe, my opinion, this is my opinion, I don't believe Trump's going to run in 2024. I mean, he was talking shit about DeSantis yesterday. I think because he knows DeSantis will give him a run for his money. I mean, if it comes down to Trump and DeSantis, I don't know who I'd vote for, to be honest with you.
I'll vote for DeSantis in the heartbeat.
Yeah, I probably would lean the same way as Goose. I had some issues with DeSantis in the beginning because he was kind of a pussy and he had his nose up Trump's ass for a while.
Bro, he was only 3 months in the freaking
let me finish. And then once Trump, kind of moved away, DeSantis grew his balls, and now I love the guy. I mean, I think he's great for Florida. And they're slowly. You see more and more they're trying to hit him because they know he's very popular in the Republican Party now, and Trump knows it too. And Trump sees his guaranteed win if he decided to run in 24. Slowly fading a little there. Not to say people aren't going to vote for Trump, because there are. Trump's got his diehard supporters like Bravo that are out there that believe everything he says, believe everything that, and I'm not one of those people. I have to, I have to see, you got to prove, I want to see facts. I don't want to hear, we're doing something in the background. Goose knows, because I've been like that from the beginning. From when we lost the election in 2020, I was on Trump train all the way up until we lost the election. And then he started spouting all this shit. And we started doing all this fucking, because in my opinion, again, my opinion, so don't fucking email me and all kinds of bullshit. I believe we fucked up. I mean, we knew the Democrats told us exactly what they were going to do and how they were going to do it, and we did nothing to stop it. And then we're all afterwards, when we lose, and then everybody's like, oh, how the hell did that happen? Well, it happened because they told you what the hell they were going to do. Fucking Biden never campaigned. He stayed in the fucking basement the whole time. What did that tell you? They were not worried. They knew they were going to take the election. So, I mean, you had to be a fucking idiot to believe that, like Goose said, that 81 million people voted for this guy, because we know they fucking didn't. We know. We saw the poll numbers. We saw how they jumped in the middle of the night. I mean, the evidence is there, but we just, but the corruption has been there forever. I mean, look at Obama. Obama, when he was in office, he won 101% of precincts. I mean, how the fuck do you win 101% and the other person gets zero? I mean,
Don't forget also now. Don't forget
think
it
that was
in the middle of the night. Now, in the middle of the night, when Trump was leading, we shut down numerous polling booths, and they even had video of the vote counters
Yeah.
taking
Exactly.
suitcases from under the tables and stuffing ballots.
Yeah.
We had the video proof, and the Democrats like, oh no, that was nothing. That's not what that was. Yes, it was. They cheated. They cheated. It was
John,
obvious, and they're going to
it's
do it
so
again.
bad.
They're going to do it again.
Oh,
John,
absolutely. You'll
it's
never
so
see.
bad.
We'll never see a Republican back in the office again. I don't believe that. I believe that we're not going to see a Republican back because they won't. Now that they've done it and they know they can do it and they know how to do it and they know they can get away with it, they're going to keep doing it.
Yeah, they're
No,
not
John,
worried about
the
getting caught.
bad
They're too
thing
arrogant.
is-
Too arrogant
Yeah.
to worry about getting caught.
A
They know
lot
they can
of-
do it, and they're going to keep doing it until they're stopped.
A lot
Exactly.
of those states where the cheating took place were run by freaking Republican governors. Arizona, Republican governor. Freaking Georgia, Republican governor. You see the deal right there? And when they didn't do shit to stop that, they hated Trump so bad that they didn't do shit. How can you win the entire South, but you can't win goddamn Georgia? When we, Florida, already knew the result by 8 o'clock Eastern time. But freaking Georgia couldn't find the freaking result the 2-3 days later? Come on, give me a break.
But this was set up, Goose. I mean,
Yeah.
this stuff we
I know it
knew.
was a setup,
We knew
but
this
these
was
fucking
set up.
governors, which they are Republican,
And they're already
didn't do
doing
shit
it
about
again. They're doing it again for 2022. They're already. That's why they're gonna keep. We're gonna keep seeing these fucking new.
But
new
Maverick, that's not the only thing.
COVID, that
The
controls.
legis-
That's what they have.
the
Exactly.
the legislation is a freaking Republican-led legislation. How you allow this shit to take place? That's
The
what freaking
Republicans-
get to me.
The Republicans are just as much pussies as the fucking Democrats. We have too many weak Republicans.
Snowballs.
All in the swamp.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what really pissed me off.
And-
That's
and, you know,
this legislation.
and getting back to Trump for a minute, when Trump came into office, he should have gotten rid of everybody. That was his mistake too, is that he kept people holdovers from the Obama administration. When Obama came in, Obama got rid of everybody. He cleaned house and put all his own people in there. When Trump came in, he didn't do that. He should have fucking done that. He should have fucking, not only the top layer, he should have went down 1 or 2, 3 layers down and got rid of every fucking body.
He should have
Because-
taken freaking Flynn as a VP, not as a freaking the way he did it. That freaking Pence never should have been our VP. Should have
Well.
been like he decided first. The first pick was freaking General Flynn. Somebody made Trump change his freaking mind, and that was his problem. He was listening to the wrong freaking people. He
Yeah,
was
I
listening to the
agree
freaking
with that.
swamp.
He was. That was his. What I would love to see. I would love if Trump were to ever get back in, or DeSantis, or whoever it may be. The first executive order they need to make is if I'll tell you right now, if I was president of the United States, the first thing I would do, my first executive order would be term limits for all members of Congress.
Oh, absolutely. I don't
Right
know
there.
why, John. I don't understand why that hasn't been done already.
Right? It's
I mean,
crazy that it hasn't.
yeah. I mean, I just
Well, he
it makes
mentioned it.
absolutely no sense that nobody's done it. Yeah, mention it and doing it are two different things.
Bro,
I mean,
come on.
we should have done this. We've got people in there who've made a fucking lifetime career out of this shit.
Mary,
and
he
do
couldn't do
nothing.
shit. You guys gotta remember, Paul fuck Ryan was running the freaking house. Didn't do shit the first 2 years. He stole freaking Trump agenda. That motherfucker slowed down everything. This was a freaking goddamn attack on Trump. Those freaking from his own party.
Well, what do you think's going to happen if Trump gets in again? It's going to be the same fucking thing again.
Well, no, I hope he learned from this one. I don't think it's gonna be the same. We got a bunch of good vet as senators and House rep. We got a lot of them, and more of them gonna be running this next term. We need to get more vets in our freaking politics.
Yeah.
They're the one fighting right now for us.
I just think I think either way, this country's screwed. I think we're on a road that we're at a point now where there's no turn back, and it's going to take something big to reverse
2022 or a revolution?
I'll tell you,
I
because
don't.
I think in 2022, because I keep hearing red wave, red tsunami, whatever, and I agree. I think that's going to happen. But the left still has all the power, and they're going to fucking cheat again.
Exactly.
They're going to fucking cheat again, and they don't worry about it. But I think I hate to say it, for the people that are out there listening to my voice right now, whether you're in the live, whether you're listening via download, or you're listening to WESN, you know, I would not want to be in a house right now that did not have any type of weapons in my house, because I do think that at a certain point we may be looking at a revolution, and I have been kind of stockpiling our family's ammunition and stockpiling the weapons that we have, so that
if you haven't done it already,
defend ourselves,
absolutely, John. If you haven't done it already, you're way behind the fucking eight ball. Yeah,
because your pantry's empty.
Yeah, if you're not storing food, and if you haven't done all that shit already, you're in for a world of hurt. And I hate to be in your household because, I mean, if you think that the shelves are empty because, it's COVID and there's a shortage on workers and stuff, that's bullshit. They're doing it on purpose. They're gonna do it. And they've been doing it for a while, and nobody's paying attention. Now the shelves are getting empty, and now all of a sudden everybody's going, "Oh, I wonder why the shelves are empty."
John, that's the first thing that I learned in the army, in the infantry.
There you go. That's right.
First thing you do against the enemy, guess what you do? You stop the freaking supply lines.
Yep.
And you deplete it until they're freaking get ready to surrender, or just drop a few bombs and they'll be ready. That's what they're doing right now, using the same tactics against us, using all these freaking agencies against us like we are a bunch of fucking terrorists. That's what they're doing.
That's why I decided to start doing this again, and I decided to make this about these topics, because if you and us and Slightly and some of these other shows, we got John Gale, other people that are doing this, we need to come out and support each other, and we need to come together, because if people don't wake the fuck up, it's going to be too late, because we need to wake up. It is not time any longer to be nice when someone says, put your mask on. Okay, I'll put it on. Get that vaccination. Oh, here are my papers. It's fucking time to stand up against the tyranny, or we are not going to have a country. And for the people that are in this show from overseas, this isn't happening just here. This is in the UK. This is in Australia. This is in Scotland. It's everywhere. They are coming after us, and we need to wake the fuck up. We need to wake up.
Absolutely. I mean, you're 100% right. I mean, and I take heat for saying it, but I don't believe this country's awake yet. I don't know what it's going to take. I mean, I know what it probably will take.
Too many people are woke. That's the problem. Too many woke people.
Exactly. We need, just people are just too, like we said earlier. I mean, they're complacent in what they're doing. They're so consumed with their own life that they don't look outside. I use my own family as an example, like my mom and dad. My mom and dad are diehard fucking Democrats. They hate Trump. They loved Obama. They think Biden is fucking great. And we have this every time I get on the conversation.
And they remove you out of the wheel too.
Yeah. And everybody's vaccinated in my family except for me and my brother. And of course, I was excluded from Christmas because I'm not vaccinated. So.
Jesus Christ! Are you kidding me? Are you
no,
kidding me?
they all got together here in Florida, and we weren't invited. My family wasn't invited. So, but it pissed me off. But at the same time, I feel sorry for them.
Yep.
But I spent time with my brother.
Yep.
We married.
They're just so afraid. They're all of them been vaccinated 3 fucking times, but yet you're afraid. You're still living in fucking fear in the house and afraid to go out. And I can't be around any unvaccinated people. That's my mom told me that. She said, "Look," she goes, "it was your choice not to get vaccinated." I said, "Exactly right. It was my fucking choice." She goes, "What do you want me to do about that? Nobody wants unvaccinated people around." And I said, "Well, that's okay. I'll stay home with my unvaccinated family, and we'll have just fine Christmas without you." I mean, it pissed me off in the beginning, but then I just was like, it is what it is. I don't expect anything different because every conversation I have with her is about the vaccine, and they try to push the vaccine on me, and And I said, look, it's not for me, and Goose knows. I mean, I am one of the high risk people. I have some health issues that would my doctors have told me to take it, and I tell them the same thing. I said, I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I don't think we gave it enough. There's not enough testing. You don't know what the long term effects are, and what the long term effects for
And
somebody
you
like
gotta
me.
wait 52 years to learn that.
I mean, with the issues that I have, um, we don't know what the long term effects are on people like me, and I'm not willing to take that shot. I mean, we're very careful where we go, what we do. I still wear a mask. Goose knows. I mean, I know people are like, "Oh, why do you wear a mask?" But I wear a mask everywhere I go.
See now,
I hand sanitize
the
everywhere
difference
I
there
go.
is I don't give a fuck if people want to wear masks. If you want to
Exactly.
wear a mask, but don't fucking tell me I need to wear a mask. That's where I have
No,
a
I
problem.
agree.
You know,
I agree.
Hey,
Yeah.
John,
I mean,
John,
I don't tell anybody that they should wear a mask. I do it, and my family does it for us. That's why we do it. I know what'll happen to me if I get it, if I get
hey,
sick.
John,
So
you gotta realize this. This is what this government is doing, okay? They're throwing everything into the vaccine, the mask, and everything that way they preoccupy you, thinking about just that.
mhm.
But right now, they're doing something else that's killing our freaking country. The economy, all that freaking money that we owe, all the bullshit that they're doing. By the time we wake up, it'll be too fucking late. That's what happened to freaking Venezuela.
Yep.
Same thing is happening to us now. It happened to Venezuela, and we don't freaking learn from that. Venezuela
people.
was the richest South American country.
That's the thing. People are not studying. People are not paying attention. And when
Right.
people like you and I and other people like us talk about it, we're conspiracy theorists. We're crazy. Things
Exactly.
aren't happening.
Exactly.
And the one thing that's finally good is it seems like more and more people are awakening to the fact of what's going on. And I think that if everybody in the country would just continue, for the people that are seeing this, to continue to talk to people and make them understand that this is an issue. But I think part of the problem we have is the younger generation. And I apologize if I offend anybody in here. I get nothing against the younger people in here, but the younger generation, I think that for the last 15, 20 years, the government has been preparing them for this, where you've become woke, you've become concerned about your pronouns, you've been concerned about this, that, and the other thing, and they have been
Mhm.
basically demasculating men for quite some time now. So they've been
Yeah.
preparing for this, and this is an organized attack. And you're right. I do think that as we continue to put up resistance, it's not just going to go away. I do think that there are going to be conflicts over this, more so than what we've seen so far in the protests and the riots that we saw from the left. So, unfortunately, I do think that we are going to probably at some point have conflicts over this. And it should be interesting the good thing about the United States is, everyone tried to take away the guns for so long, even though it's protected in the Constitution. That's one of the reasons why our government is a little nervous about trying to take this country over, because again, we've got
Mhm.
400 million guns in this country,
They can't take
and
my
we can
bullets. I
defend
give it to
ourselves
them.
from our government if we need to. And again,
Yeah.
people say, well, if they want to drop a nuclear bomb on you, what are you going to do? Well, that's great. If you want to destroy the country and blow up, drop a nuclear bomb, go ahead. But I do believe
Exactly.
if we ever get to the point where the people are standing up against their government, you will see some of the military turn and they will support the people and not fight just for the government. So I don't think it'll be just the people out there firing. I mean, you have across this country, you have groups of old ex-military people that are banding together, that are preparing to fight if they need to. So,
Yes,
I
yes.
think people need
Yep.
to really be prepared in the event that some of this happens.
Don't
Yeah.
underestimate the veterans. Because we
No, not
Yeah.
at
stick
all.
together.
Not at all.
Yep. 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 That's right. Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. I think, yeah, it's going to take something, it's sad because people are going to die. The people who aren't prepared. What's going to happen? What are you going to do if you're one of those people who are sitting at home going, "Oh, the government will never do this stuff. The government will take care of us." Well, the government's the one doing it to you. The government's the one stopping the fucking shelves from being full like they were before. They're doing it on purpose because the more they squeeze you, the more under control they can get you. If they take away your food, they raise the gas prices to the fucking $20 a fucking gallon of gas. You're not going to be able to fucking do anything. They're squeezing you until you comply. And people don't understand that. Like you said, John, go back in history. I mean, they're not doing anything different that wasn't done before. You, people just don't. You're right. People don't do their research, and then yeah, we get when we come on our shows and like you and me and Goose and all the other guys out there who are doing the same thing come out and say something, we get labeled as crazy or conspiracy theorists, like, oh yeah, but you know what? All these things that we've been saying all these years are slowly happening, and now those people who are you're calling conspiracy theorists aren't crazy as much as you thought they were, are they? Because all the shit's happening, what we said was going to happen.
And
If you're not prepared, you're. I feel bad for you because.
And remember the two guys we have in here right now, Goose and Maverick, we're both in the military. They understand about going to war, and they understand about war planning, and they understand about people being strategic. So when they're telling you that all this stuff that's happening, shelves being empty, supply boats not being let in, gas prices rising, the economy being put in the shitter, mask mandates, vaccine mandates, this is not all accident. This is a coordinated attack on our freedom.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is, and they're waiting for all of us to comply. They're forcing us to comply, and you got two choices. You can either comply or get ready for a fight. And again, when I say a fight, I don't mean get the guns out and start shooting people. That's not what I'm saying.
Right,
but you're going to have to stand up for your rights. You're going to have to stand up for yourself, and we need to push back. And if we don't push back, it's over. It's over.
But sadly, it may come to where you have to, I mean, what are you going to do when the shelves are empty? And people start hitting the streets and start robbing, going to houses to take food for their families, because that's what's going to happen. You're going to get people, good family people, who are going to turn bad because they weren't prepared, and they're going to start looking for food. When your kid's looking at you, sitting there starving, crying, saying they don't have any food or water, what are you going to do? You're going to let your kid die, or you're going to go find it? Unfortunately, people are going to go find it, and that's where people are going to die, because people like us who are prepared aren't going to let somebody come and do anything to my family or take anything that I have. You're going to get all I have first before you get anything. You're going to get the wrong end of all my weapons before you get anything else.
I've been teaching my children about guns.
Absolutely.
Showing them how guns operate. I've been showing them how to shoot. And for them, I'm like, oh, let's just have some fun. We'll go shoot. But there's a reason why I'm showing them.
Exactly.
I'm afraid at some point we may need to defend ourselves as a family.
Then we're bad when we do that. When we teach our kids not to be afraid of guns, because they want the kids. Oh no, you tell the schools or the doctor's office. When you go to the doctor's office, they ask your child, "Is there guns in the house?" I tell my kids before the doctor comes in, I said, "Look, if they ask you anything about guns in the house, you say no. There's nothing. You don't have to tell them shit. Because my kids know. My kids know that there's guns in the house. They also know they're not allowed near them. Yep. And my guns are locked up. I don't just leave them laying all over the place where anybody can get them. My kids are also old enough to know better, but I still don't leave them laying around. But I don't think it's anybody's business. I don't think it's the fucking doctor's business, the teacher's business. I don't think it's anybody's fucking business what I have in my house.
No,
but people think when you go to the doctors, they get scared. Oh, the doctor asked, I got to tell them. You don't have to fucking tell them anything. It's none of their fucking business.
No, I agree completely. I mean, one of the things I've done with my kids is I don't want them to be afraid of guns. And I've shown them how they operate, how they work. I've shown them how to take them apart. And with them, I always worried about my kid going to some other kid's house and having like a 9mm and saying, oh, don't worry, I took the clip out. We're good. We can play with it now. They need to know how a gun works. And if you pull that clip out, there still could be another round in the chamber. So, I mean, they are, but you're right. I mean, mine are locked, mine are safe, mine are in safes. I'm the only person, my wife know what the combinations are, whatever, to get into these, and they're not allowed to touch them, and they don't touch them. They respect it because I've given them the same respect back, saying, listen, I will take you shooting and things like that, but you are not allowed to touch these. And I think, anyway, we have a good enough relationship. But for the people out there, I think that what you're hearing right now, and I mean, I don't mean to scare people. I really don't want to scare people, but I think a little bit you need to be scared to the point.
I was going to say, I think you kind of have to. Yeah. At this point,
hi, Michael.
At this point, I mean, if that's what it takes, to get people off their asses and realize what's going on. And, John, that's why we started this show.
Right. Same here.
Our show is just, and every, my thing is when I promote the show to go try to get, out somewhere and people ask me what our show's about, I say the exact same thing all the time. I said, look, we're three ex-military veterans who got tired of sitting back and listening to the government and the mainstream media lie to the American people. I said, so we decided, well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to start a show to expose all those lies and give you the facts for you to decide what's true and what's not. We don't expect you to believe everything that comes out of our mouth on our show. If we get you to go, you know what, let me look, get it once the show's over and you go to the computer and you look it up yourself. That's what we want you to do. Exactly. We want you to question. We don't expect you to say, oh, whatever they said must be true. No, we do our research before we come on our show. That was one big thing that I pushed for this show, was that everything that we put out there, we need to make sure it's verified first before we do it, because we're staking our reputation and the show's reputation on telling the truth. And very rarely, okay, I'm not going to say 100%, something might squeak by, Bravo might put something on Telegram that's a little crazy, or, we don't
let him go. He get hit from us too.
Yeah. And then Bravo gets mad. We go, oh, well, you're censoring me. Well, no, I'm not censoring you. I said, I want you to understand, this is our show. We created this show and put our reputations on the line as truth tellers, as being honest. And you'll never hear, I know you listen to our show, John, and we're not afraid to say anything. I don't care who you are. We're gonna tell you how it is. And if we offend you, sorry, but sometimes the truth hurts. Our intention isn't, we don't bash anybody. We bring anybody who comes on our show. We don't stop anybody from calling in. But if you say something stupid, we're going to call you out on it. But we pride ourselves, and I get so many messages on Facebook and emails saying, oh, I love the show because you guys don't stop it. You let people say whatever they want. You let people from, even if they don't agree with you, on your show. And that's the whole point. And I tell people, you can come on the show, say whatever you want, call us an asshole, but be prepared for us to respond back.
Goose
will respond back.
I had a guy on recently, the Wicked Awesome podcast, the guy from Maine, and the way he wrote me, he's like, I'd love to come on your show. And he goes, and this was his exact quote, but just so you know, I'm a liberal pansy is what he wrote to me. So I responded back. I was like, listen, I'll have you on the show. I would never call you a liberal pansy. That's what you called yourself, but I would gladly have you on. And, we didn't really agree on too much, but we had a civil argument and talked back and forth and didn't agree on a lot. But the one thing I want to really emphasize about what you just said, and we're probably going to have to wrap up soon. I got to get back to work. But Eric, and all you guys, what he said just now was so important to all of you. Don't believe everything I say. You shouldn't believe everything that anybody says, whether it's me, whether it's Goose, whether it's Maverick, whether it's Biden, Trump. You should never take everybody's word for it. If you want to be, an educated, informed person, you need to do your research. You need to go out there and research your own topics. We all need to start thinking and take the blinders off. I mean, if something looks like a duck and it walks like a duck, it's probably a duck. And if you look about what's going on right now, I always think about this. When you see all the supposed incompetence right now in our government, is it really incompetence or is it a plan? And you have to realize that the people that run our government and the people that are above our government that run all of us, they're pretty smart people. They're smart people. They're wealthy people. They control all of us. They pull the strings. And if you think that all of them are so incompetent that this is all falling apart and they don't know what they're doing, maybe that's the case. Or maybe this is an intentional plan and this incompetence is in place so they can get the desired result that they want. So I believe the latter, that this is a plan. This is something that's been happening on purpose, and it's going to continue to happen until we stand up. I mean, you're seeing protests right now across the country and across the world. We haven't seen as much in the U.S., but I did see, I think it's the 23rd of January, there's a big protest happening in Washington, D.C. now. So it does seem that things are starting to roll a little bit in the U.S. like they have in other places. And, if you go to one of these protests, I mean, you don't want to be, you don't want to be rushing the Capitol building or burning down buildings like the quote unquote peaceful protest that we saw back in 2020. And of course, that's sarcasm because we all know they were riots.
That was the FBI who did.
Yeah, it was all just bull. I mean, they had the bricks already set up around the cities. I mean, it was all a plan again to get things going. So, hey, listen, we're getting it towards the end. I want to really, before I forget to do this, I want to thank you two and your partner for serving our country. I mean, honestly, I can't say it enough. Thank you for what you've done, and thank you for what you're continuing to do to help open the eyes of America, because without you, we wouldn't have freedom. And you have no, I mean, this isn't something I'm just saying. I mean this very deeply, that I have a deep amount of respect for people that pick up a gun and defend our country. Because, I mean, that takes a special type of person with a lot of courage. And if it wasn't for all of you, none of us would have anything. So thank you. And I mean that very, very deeply. It's all
We appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I forget what I was going to say. Getting old. See what happens when you get old.
I know. I hear that. We're all old. We're all kind of getting to that point where we forget shit,
Yeah. No, I mean, we, like I said, we appreciate you having us on. I mean, this is great. I really enjoyed being on here. And I like your show because I like that you're like us. I mean, you speak your mind. I mean, when I first started listening to your show, I was like, oh, who's this guy? I want to, I'm like, oh, but then I started listening to you. I think one show I think you did about, you were talking about, man, I don't know if it was Howard Stern you were going off on or somebody.
Well, I have at times because back in the day, I mean, back when I was in college, I was a broadcasting major and I wanted to do this. And my career took me in a different path. And I came back to this. And I remember when I first came back, I said I wanted to be like Howard Stern. And then I started doing shows like him. And I realized, all right, I'm too fucking old to act like him now. I'm acting like a jackass. So I need to figure out what I want to do. And I've kind of ended up in this direction. And thankfully I've had, because this is where I need to be, because I do speak my mind. I never served in the military, but I have a similar mindset to you guys. I played college football, played football for 11 years. And I've kind of got that hard nose, work hard type of attitude, from that aspect of my life. And, it's I love this country. I mean, you guys are a little bit older like I am. And for me, I'm an older guy, and I've seen the changes over the last 30 and 40 years, changes that probably some of you younger guys and gals in here probably aren't familiar with. We've lost a lot. We've lost a lot over the last 30, 40 years. And I can't imagine what it's going to be like 40 years from now if we don't put our feet down. It's going to continue.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, and it's going to come sooner than you think. I mean, if we keep on the path we're on now, people don't realize what we're losing. I mean, again, go back to what we were talking about earlier about the social media. People think, oh, it's no big deal when you get banned or you get censored or, Facebook jail or Twitter jail or whatever you want to fucking call that shit. But it's bad. Any way you look at it. I mean, they're censoring what you can say. Terrible. People, you have to expect that. No, I mean, you have to expect it to some extent, but at the same time, you shouldn't accept it. You don't just say, oh, well, I have to deal with that. No, you don't. I mean, you should be mad that they're censoring what you can say. And, with Facebook and Instagram, you used to, because it's all one, I mean, there's really, and they're doing that on purpose because that way they control everything. Facebook controls that and Instagram, and then Twitter is by itself. And there aren't many places where you can go. And you notice there's these places popping up like Parlor, I think it is, but that place sucked. I mean, I went on there. I mean, that was
Getter too, and I don't love Getter. Getter's all right, but
yeah, I tried that one, and I didn't really like that one either. Because nobody's like really hardcore. I mean, they post little things here and there.
Parley got scared from the last time. That's why they're like that now.
Yeah, but we need. That's what I ever understood, and I always say this: why didn't somebody with money fucking give Facebook a run for their money, man? Start fucking one where everybody would leave
Hey,
Any-
Larry, you don't need no
What?
money. Do like they all do. Start from the basement.
Yeah.
Every
That's
Yeah,
movie you watch
that's why the
about
liberals
them.
are. The liberals are
Yeah.
down there in the basement coding and masturbating, starting their social media accounts.
All the freaking time.
yeah.
You watch a lifetime history about them. Oh, I started my freaking business in the basement. Every one of them.
Yeah,
But
but
one
if you
thing I gotta say about this, you gotta get involved locally.
You know
In
what?
your
You're right on
local
that.
office,
You're right.
you gotta get involved. That's where you make a big difference. Please get involved.
You have to, because you're seeing it in school committees. You're seeing it in local government. I mean, you look at, on a smaller scale, than Congress. I mean, Mayor Wu in Boston, she is destroying the city of Boston. She's been mayor for 3 weeks and she's already divided the entire city. And it's just, I mean, I've lived in this area my whole life, and believe me, I'm sick of the fucking cold weather. I can't wait to move to a warmer climate someday. But
And you're welcome to come to our great state of
come to the
Florida.
free
Coming soon.
state of Florida. Yeah, the free state.
We
We're
actually
a free
do have
state
a place in Florida now. My father-in-law passed away back in July, and he had a place in Fort Myers. So we actually have
Dang, that's where we are.
Are you in Fort Myers?
Yeah.
I'm coming there in February. I'm going to be down in a few weeks, so I'm going to be there.
No shit.
You know where what the hell's the name of the place? Oh, I can't think of it. Fountain View. Do you know where Fountain View is?
Oh, yes,
Oh,
yes.
That's where I'm going to be. I'm
yes.
going to be there in a couple of weeks. So we'll have to get together and hey, we have to go eat at Perkins. I'll pay. How does that sound? That's my favorite. I love Perkins, man. That's I don't know why.
Sounds good, man. That sounds good. Yeah, let us know when you're down here.
We'll have a little meeting of the minds down in Florida when I come down. And I'm not kidding, man. I'll email you guys and let you know.
Hey, good. We gave it. Bring the equipment. Do an impromptu show in Perkins.
Yes, yeah.
I love it. Oh man! All right, listen, guys. This was a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on.
Take care. Thank you, John.
Eric, to let him kind of
appreciate it.
reel off some of the shows that are coming up. So go ahead, Eric. Why don't you tell everyone who's coming on? And Goose and Maverick, thank you very much.
No, thank you, John.
Pleasure to have you on.
Coming up on Podbean Live today, when John DeVito wraps up, Sarge from the Gray Area will be going live with his show, so be on the lookout
Another
for him.
Patriot, Sarge.
Yep. And the leader of the delinquent army. I'm hearing echo.
Oh, is my music messing you up,
coming
Eric?
up at 5 p.m. I'm hearing Maverick echo. He needs to mute.
Okay.
Coming up at 5 p.m. Eastern time today, you've got the John Gale program. He's got a really good show worth checking out, and you've also got the
Guys,
Beans and Weenie
hold
show
on one
coming
sec.
up live.
John Gale and Michael, is it G or Gee? How do you pronounce his name?
Key.
Michael Key. John Gale and Michael Key. If you're looking for new shows, check them both out. I had them on my show a couple weeks ago. They're conservative, good guys. They have good shows. Make sure you check them both out and give them a listen because they are new, but they're both very good. So make sure you check them out. Okay. Go ahead, Eric. Sorry.
Exactly. Of course, the Beans and Weenie show goes live tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. If you're looking for a good laugh with Spanky and Scooter, and speaking of Spanky and Scooter, they will be John DeVito's Get to Know Your Podcaster guests on Thursday. So be on the lookout for that show. Wednesday, John DeVito will have Jeff Moore of the of YouTube's Trade More podcast and Podbean's Jeff Moore Money podcast. So that should be a fun show. And I think we're getting close, John, to booking To a Patriot Mama, and we might even have Real Patriot Voice join that episode as well. So Shells is keeping an email communication going. But of course, tomorrow, Michael Key of the Real Conservative Talk podcast, he will have on Ohio U.S. Senate candidate. Let me paste that name in chat. Pasting it now, Mark Paquita. That should be a very interesting show that Michael will be putting on. And the Only Crazy Lady will have her tarot card reading show tomorrow afternoon as well. And also coming up tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time, you've got the Old Man's Podcast with Dean, Joe, and Eric. And you've also got the Ralph Williams podcast on in the morning, so be on lookout for them. And be on lookout for the Slacker82Alpha podcast to go live Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And
make sure,
Friday
real quick, make sure you
evening,
guys
7
also
p.m.
check
Eastern
out
time.
WESN check out WESN. You can get that in the App Store. That's Ralph Williams' new platform. It's called Epic Strategies Network. I'm there on the weekends. They put me on the air. They put Old Man on during the week. So you listen on your phone or actually just go to WESN.com and check it out. He's got a bunch of good shows on there. Dick Gray's on there as well.
And
So
Slacker82 is over there too.
Yep, a lot of good shows.
And as is the Gray Area and a couple other friends. And be on lookout for Chuck and Billy's Not Your Tea to come back soon with new shows. But it may be Chuck just temporarily until Billy is feeling well from his COVID diagnosis, and hopefully Slightly Serious is starting to feel better from his COVID episode and surprises us very soon with a new episode of the Slightly Serious show. And also, be on lookout for the Dude Sean and Caps, Mike Tampa Bay and Shannon Lynn, and as well as be on lookout for the It's Doomsday podcast on the weekends and the new Nick and Tip show and the Turfy show on the weekends, and and even other names like Brian and Rebecca and Freedom Warrior, and that they would keep you entertained. Even Solid Blue Sister, and we could just go on, and hopefully some other great podcast shows that have been away for a while will be coming back soon with new episodes.
One thing you got to do, you got to work your magic, Eric, and you got to try to get Beans and Weenie on the Chuck and Billy show, and have, or vice versa, and have all four of them together. That may be the funniest show that you will ever hear on Podbean. That would be amazing, because all four of them are hysterical.
Oh yes,
they have them all together. Hey, Dean and Joe, how you doing?
Oh, that would be an awesome show.
Would that be amazing?
But hopefully everybody's had a good 3-day weekend, and John DeVito looks forward to seeing and hearing from all of you again soon, and we'll also see you around Podbean.
I love you all. And remember, I have a name for all of you. Now, who's in here? Who's part of my wanker group? I got my wankers in here right now. So thank you to all my wankers for coming in today. It was a great show. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you. Thank you. Goose and Maverick, man, it was a pleasure to have you on. And now in the movie, though, how come you got the name Goose? You got killed in the movie. So, what happened?
Hey, that was Maverick,
He took you out, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's okay. Hey, it wasn't my fault, man. I was in a spin. I couldn't get him out, man. He hit the canopy. It's not my fault.
All right, guys, have a good one. All right, we'll talk to you later.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it. Thank you,
right,
John.
Thank you very much.
Later, everyone.
Good job, Eric.
See you guys Wednesday, and see everybody else around the Podbean.